Hopefully, like the book, this review will be short and sweet and simple. We'll see. And also because I want to make this spoiler free. Simply because that we're wading out into the realm of more obscure Philip K. Dick. But anyway, here we are today with Galactic Pot Healer. Short little 180-page book from Philip K. Dick. Son of a... Anyway, moral of the story is it's a super short book. Boy, this is Dick firing on all cylinders right here. I mean, seriously, start to finish. This book is focused, it's fast-paced, and it's funny. And funny in only a way that Philip K. Dick can be funny. You have one character, and one character only. I mean, we'll get there. But really, it's a one-character book, which, he's notorious for having either a couple, 2, 3 main characters that you kind of follow, and he just kind of bounces between them, and, this person, that person. They kind of leapfrog their way through the story as you track them, or he gives you, groups of characters, and you kind of, you shuffle through the characters. No, not here. It's super focused. You're really dialed in on Joe Fernwright, and he's like your point of view character, the only one you get, and you just follow him. So it's super focused. It clips right along at a blistering pace. I mean, really wastes no time getting moving and wastes no time to get to where it's going. What's exceptionally fast-paced. This book is so much fun and so funny, and its humor, like I said, in only a way that Dick can do. It's like your main character has no money, no job. Okay, so he has a job, but he has no money and no work to perform in order to get money. And I know that doesn't sound like it's funny, but in Dick's world, that struggle is hilarious. And he's desperate for information to the point where there's a telephone encyclopedia company, dictionary encyclopedia, that you can call in and request information, but you can only request so much information in a 24-hour period before they shut you off, unless you pay them money. Then they'll give you more information. And he can never get the information that he needs because he doesn't have the money to pay the encyclopedia company, and he's already exceeded his limit for that day. I mean, and it's just simple things like that. Anyway, the plot of this story, which I think the back of the book will give you even more than what I'm going to, is Joe Fernwright. He is a pot healer. In other words, he fixes broken pots. And the Glimung, the god, the all-high supernatural being of a planet called Plowman's Planet, who moved in and took over the planet after the old gods or supernatural beings died, wants to raise an ancestral sunken city of worship from the depths of the ocean. But he needs a group of people with very specific skill sets in order to raise the sunken city back to the surface where it can be a center for worship again? Maybe. And the Glimung is this godlike being of magical powers who comes in the form of circling rings of water and fire with is it a face in the middle? I don't know. Sometimes he appears as a teenage girl. Sometimes he appears as this giant, massive creature that, I don't know. And what the hell is a pot healer gonna do to raise a city from the bottom of the ocean? Don't worry about it. We're balls to the wall at this point. And now they introduce an actual group of people, the group of specialists that's going to raise the city from the depths of the ocean. And you think, I thought, that we're going to get some type of semblance of typical Philip K. Dick group story. No, because He doesn't even allow them to be introduced. The second the assistant starts to introduce these characters by name, the person sitting next to you is, the person across the way is, the next sentence is something like, and he stopped listening because names didn't matter. He cares so little that he doesn't even want to know what their names are. Therefore, you don't get to know what their names are. To the point where later on in the book, where I think it's Glimung, somebody starts shouting, popping off people's names and titles. You're like, I don't know any of these people because Joe didn't allow them to be introduced. It's just ridiculous. It's completely and utterly ridiculous in the best way possible. You're also kept a little bit off balance the whole time. What is the Glimung? And what's he up to? And is he there for good or is he there for ill? What are they raising? Why are they raising it? And then the book is going to go into just balls to the wall philosophizing. And it's really erratic. It's hard to tell. At the end of the book, I wasn't sure if what I just read, because it's so schizophrenic in its approach and in the way it's fed to you, the philosophizing, I couldn't decide if what I was reading was utterly profound or just drug-addled rambling. I'm still not sure. I might have to reread it. I don't know. And either one I'm fine with. I'm fine with it either way, whatever that ends up being. But if you have read this, please tell me, did you get something more out of this other than just pure, utter, fast-paced entertainment? Because it's that as well. But all in all, it feels more like if he was trying to say something, if he meant to say something, if there was something, like I said, profound hidden in here. As a book, it felt more unfocused than some of his other maybe better works, like Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep or The Man in the High Castle, especially The Man in the High Castle, which was very subtle, very nuanced, and it felt focused. It felt like a very focused attempt at what he was doing, very subtle and very focused. This is not subtle, and this is not focused. It's almost like he didn't know where he was going or what he was doing with the story. I mean, there gets a point where it's so bombastic that it's like this person, somebody's dead. No, they're not. Okay, now we're over here. No, but we're doing this. But we're going to raise the city. Wait, no, stop. Hold on. We're going to go over here real quick. Then we're going to come back. And it's just like, whoa. And you just read 4 pages of the book. You know what I mean? It was like, wow. It gets to a point where you're like, what in the world is happening here? And what was happening in this man's mind as he was pecking away at this book? Oh my goodness. It's just pure, utter insanity. And that's only to give you an idea of what kind of a read this is in the realm of Philip K. Dick. But it is astoundingly fun to read. It is wonderfully entertaining all the way through. So if you're just looking for some really ripping, roaring, and ridiculous Dick fun that is only 180 pages, you could read it in a day, then go ahead, pick it up. It is wonderful. It's fun. But if you want one of his slightly more heady, something that's going to make you think a little bit harder, books a little bit more nuanced, as I said, this isn't that book from him. But it's still a whole lot of fun. That being said, he does find a way, after all of this ridiculousness, he does find a way to bring it around to an ending that I thought was actually, the way he ends it, the note that he chooses to end it on. There is an ultimate revelation that our character has in the end, albeit a very personal revelation. His ultimate personal revelation, I think, is very profound. I feel like the ending was just wonderful. And the note that he chooses to end it on could not have been better. There's a message and a meaning in the final pages that I think is great. And it all, even as so far as the final word that he leaves you on, I thought was wonderful. I put it up there with one of my favorite endings I've read in a long time. Anyway, All in all, due to the fact that it was just a good time roller coaster ride of a book and not too much extra on top of that to say, I think this comes in as at a solid 8. I don't think it really can justify any number above that. It's such a good time that I think it's a good solid 8.